In April, my partner and I helped you pull off a sensational wedding. The second for you and your new bride. You were surrounded by family and friends, all shining more than the magnificent Malibu sea. The guests were also gleaming with satisfaction and joy that you and your bride had finally found happiness with the right one. We, never just guests, were called upon to decorate with the perfect swags and centerpieces. The night before the nuptials, I drew your bride's scented bath to soothe her anxiety over proper coffee cup placement. We made 80 salads. I lovingly lint-brushed your tuxedo. I assisted with seating arrangements and kept your bride away from her dour sister she did not want to see. Yes, we were admitted to the colony following our flight from San Francisco. Yes, we sat with you at the head table. Yes, we were thanked profusely in your first toast. Yes, we wore yarmulkes. Yes, we held hands and danced the hora. Yes, I lifted your lithe ballerina bride up to the sky. Yes, we were happy to be there. We met when I was 15 at summer camp. You were the older brother I never had. We climbed Mount Whitney, the tallest peak in the lower 48. You talked me through my altitude sickness and we ascended the summit together. We fought off bears who wanted our food in Kings Canyon. We ate tons of Mongolian barbecue, and I got drunk the first time on Lowenbrow with you. We saw Stevie Nicks, Peter, Paul, and Mary, and the Go-Go's. In May, California legalized gay marriage. I could have the ceremony you've enjoyed twice. In August, following your European honeymoon, you and your newest bride came for a visit. This was your 6th trip to the Castro home I've shared with a man I've loved for 16 years. I selected Julia Child's favorite Vietnamese restaurant, honoring our shared history and interest in spicy Asian food. And then we walked to Cafe Jacqueline, San Francisco's most romantic restaurant for the perfect chocolate souffle to honor your newfound love and my consistent one. Honoring your wife's interests in ballet, I have the turning point waiting for us to watch. The story of Dee Dee and Emma, coming to grips with their lifelong friendship, with ballet as a backdrop. It was at lunch the next day in Hayes Valley when you said, I don't think you and Matthew should be able to get married because I believe consistency of institutions is good for society. I wanted to fling my drink in your face and ask you both to flee our home in hospitality. I'm certain that the blood draining from my face was evident. I'm certain your ballet bride was aware of the extreme effort that was now required for me not to make a scene. I'm sure neither of you were aware that in a split second I was deciding if I could continue our friendship. So I took the intellectual interstate with blood bashing in my brain. I brought up institutionalized anti-Semitism and asked you if you thought divorce devalued the institution of marriage. I wanted to make you reconsider your never-seen, narrow-minded, bigoted ignorance. On the last day of your visit, pissed and emotionally drained, I couldn't bring myself to join you for yet another excursion in my city by the bay. You both clearly stayed away for the day, knowing we'd reached a turning point. Yet when you returned, you'd bought me an expensive French press, honoring my love of a great cup of coffee, knowing that my press was letting too many grinds through. And then you said, with your arms around me, sincerely, you know I love you, and I'm willing to be convinced. So with the polling on Prop 8 so very close, it became my mission to convince you by posing questions to you. At what point did interracial marriage become acceptable? When a law was passed, or when society woke up and did the right and thoughtful thing? At what point did institutionalized apartheid become unacceptable? When the law was changed, or before? At what point did segregation become unacceptable? Wasn't it before the law was passed? At what point did letting women vote become acceptable? Before institutionalized misogyny was unlawful, or after? At what point did society make the glass ceiling noticeable? At what point did your yellow star become different than my pink triangle? Weren't we all packed into cattle cars and gassed together? Didn't our ashes commingle, falling on the ground of institutionalized hatred? At what point do you realize that fundamentalists often hate us both? At what point do we need to have a law to stop institutionalized? At what point do we need a law to stop institutionalized denial of human rights? At what point do human rights need to be institutionalized? At what point do I devalue your first marriage, your first institutionalized marriage in favor of your second? Was it when you got your get? Was it when you said I do for the second time? At what point can you really be convinced? Is this the point I can press and grind into your intellect that you are wrong? At what point do I really get admitted to the colony? At what point did we stop climbing the summit together? Is this a matrimonial summit you can conquer? Can you ascend this peak of acceptance? If not, at what point? Epilogue. Now, we know at what point the Supreme Court enfranchised all Californians, and at what point City Hall turned into a rainbow for the best celebration of my life. At what point did I turn to my beaming, beautiful partner, marching in the Gay Pride Parade, and know that our first celebration will be to honor our 20-year partnership this winter. We don't know at what point we'll get married, but our very long engagement seems to be working out very well. But at what point Alabama, Missouri, Ohio, Utah, Kentucky, Montana, Texas, and the other 30 states where gay marriage is banned by state constitution? At what point can we dance the hora in Hawaii, jump the broom in North Dakota, and stomp on the glass in Georgia? At what point do we realize Nelson Mandela was actually a whistleblower, giving voice to a government's dirty secrets? Drones, rendition, fracking, Citizens United, cruelty, the Tea Party. At what point will these join Prop 8 in the ash heap of ugly history? To paraphrase Tony Kushner, in this world, there's a kind of painful progress. The great work begins. You are beautiful, each and every one of you. Thank you.